Welcome back to another Experience Widener powered by Modern Campus Involve tutorial video. This video will go over how to submit an expenditure form. As always, to get started, please visit widener.presence.io, log in using your Widener credentials, and click into the admin dashboard. As a reminder, for these forms, only the president and treasurer will have access in addition to your advisors. To get started, let's go over to the navigation area and click into Finance. From here, you're going to see a Create button in the top right-hand corner. You're going to click on Create, and you're going to start with the expenditure form. Now, the expenditure form is the form that you are going to submit 2 weeks prior to when you need to spend the money. So if you have an event coming up on, let's say, February 29th, and you need to have all of your supplies in hand by the 27th, the day that this needs to be submitted by, at a minimum, would be February 13th, but you could submit it anytime prior to that. Realistically, what I recommend is going in at the start of the semester and putting in all of your expenditure requests early on. It will ensure that you have all of your supplies on time and allow for any just last minute things that you might need to get done because you'll know exactly what you need and what you already have. Now, when it comes to the form, every bit of information that you need is going to be laid out in these content areas. So first, you're going to select your organization name. I'm going to use Active Minds because it's the first one, so it's a little bit easier to find. You're going to put in a title for your organization event. So this title should match exactly what it is in the system already. So let's say we're going to do Plants for Mental Health, and that will be our example for the next 3 videos. Then a description is going to be any details about your event that you need. Maybe we have some leftover pots from last semester. Then we're going to scroll down to expenditure items. Similar to how you submit a budget allocation, for each expenditure item, you're going to click Add and a new area is going to appear. If you don't need that, you'll click on the X to minimize back down to just the one. So for the title, we're going to list the itemized purchase below. So for this, we're going to say plants and soil. Details, purchasing plants and soil from Lowe's. It's really, really important that we know exactly what you are purchasing, which is why we have the title broken down the way that it is. And then the details just allow us to get some better insight into where you're going to be purchasing this from. Then you're going to select your budget allocation or your budget request. To do so, again, you're only going to have access to the budgets that you are an admin of. And you're always going to want to click on that plus sign because your just organization name does not have any money in it. So it's really, really important that you're clicking into the right area. So I'm going to click on SAF funds because this is something that they requested in their budget allocation and are able to receive funding for it through the SAF funds. Then I'm going to put in the amount. So let's say we're going to request $200. You're then going to say how you're going to make the purchase. So I'm going to go through each of these so that you have a better understanding of what you should be selecting. For check requests, this is going to be if you are bringing a vendor or a performer or speaker to campus. Maybe it's someone who doesn't accept credit cards, and so you need to find a way to be able to get them a check. This is how you're going to pay them. You must complete your reconciliation form within 24 hours of completing this payment, meaning once you receive the approval and receive a message from me stating that your payment has been complete, you have to go in and do your reconciliation form. The reconciliation is what confirms how much money you actually spent. And I'll go into detail about that a little bit more in just a bit. With this, all check requests need to have a couple of different forms. So first is going to be an invoice. Your vendor will provide this. Next is going to be a W-9. Your vendor will also be able to provide this upon your request. And then you're also going to update or upload a new vendor form. You can click to download that here. This is something that is required by the university and that your vendor will fill out in order to be able to be in our system for payment. Really, really important. Next is the reimbursement. If you were doing a reimbursement, there's nothing else that you need to do here, but you do need to bring all physical receipts to the Office of Student Engagement and submit your reconciliation form, which is where your reimbursement form is going to live, within 48 hours of your purchase. That is 48 business hours. So if you complete it on a Friday, of course, we're not open on a Sunday, so you'll bring it in on Monday. Please ensure that this requirement is met, or you will not be able to be eligible for reimbursements in the future. It is so incredibly important that we are not just getting random reimbursement receipts without that matching reconciliation. This has to be done correctly in order to receive your reimbursement. And all of your receipts must be physical. You have to bring in that physical receipt. If you are doing an online purchase, you're going to select online purchase, and you will complete all of the information and then submit your reconciliation within 24 hours of completing this payment. Again, what that means is within 24 hours of when I send you your receipt via Teams. Really important, because then we're able to make sure that all of the information is correct in the system. So you will use this online purchase links area to be able to send me anything that you might need. In here, I need details, right? I need to know that I'm placing the right order. I need to know the date that you need it in hand. Are there colors attached to it? Are there multiple options for how many you need? Please make sure that you include all of that information while you are filling this out. And then finally, we have the P card. The P card is available for request for up to 24 hours, and you must bring all physical receipts back to the Office of Student Engagement and submit your reconciliation form upon returning the P card. So by the time you hand the P card over, you should have already submitted your reconciliation form. This is really important because you're giving those receipts back to us, so you need to fill it out before you hand those over. You will choose a pickup request date and a return request date. Again, this is only available for up to 24 hours. If these times do not work, I will send you a Teams message. Please make sure that you're keeping an eye on your Teams. For the purpose of this, I'm just going to do this as a reimbursement because it's a little bit simpler to put it through the system. I'm going to go ahead and submit for approval. And then that is going to be how you complete your expenditure forms. I'm going to take a moment to show you what that looks like on the front end. Now, because that request has not been approved yet, what you're going to see when you're looking at your budget is that there is $200 that is now set aside and taken from what is available because you have put in a request to spend it. Even after this has been approved, this money is going to be set aside and it's going to be on hold, meaning your organization will not be able to spend that $200 that you requested. This is why reconciliation forms are so incredibly important. So please, please, please make sure that you are following by the guidelines that are set on each of the different payment methods. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by the Student Government Association office, which is located on the lower level of the University Center, right outside of the Pride Den and across from the building manager window. They are here to assist, and all of our finance committee members hold office hours so that they can be available for you. And if you have any additional questions or maybe can't make it, please feel free to email widenersga@widener.edu.